Son wins lottery, but my best friend demands I make him give it up for her child. BC, I owe this to her. My son's scream shattered the morning silence. A wild, disbelieving howl that yanked me from my coffee. Mom, I won, I freaking won, he yelled, waving a lottery ticket like it was a flag of victory. Before I could process the absurdity of a 22-year-old hitting a $10 million jackpot, my phone buzzed with a text from Lila, my best friend of 20 years. We need to talk. Now. The air in our small living room felt heavier than usual when Lila arrived. Her eyes, usually warm and crinkled with laughter, were sharp, almost predatory. She sat across from me, her hands folded tightly, as Ethan, my son, paced behind me, still clutching the golden ticket that had turned our lives into a sudden circus. Marissa, she began, her voice low but edged with something dangerous. You owe me, and I'm here to collect. I blinked, stunned. Lila and I had history, decades of shared secrets, late-night confessions, and promises sealed over cheap wine. She'd been there when my husband walked out, leaving me to raise Ethan alone. I'd been there when her daughter, Sophie, was born with a rare condition that drained Lila's savings and spirit. But this was new. What are you talking about? I asked, my voice barely steady. She leaned forward, her gaze locking onto mine. That money, Ethan's money, it's not his. It's Sophie's. Her words hit like a slap. Ethan froze, his excitement curdling into confusion. You owe me, Marissa. After everything I've done for you, you can't let your kids sit on millions while my daughter's future hangs by a thread. I laughed a short, bitter sound because what else could I do? The idea that I'd force my son to hand over his windfall was absurd, but Lila's face didn't crack. She wasn't joking. She recounted every favor, every late-night call, every dollar she'd lent me when I was scraping by. I carried you, she said, her voice trembling with conviction. Now it's your turn. Sophie needs that money for her treatments. You owe me. Ethan's voice broke the tension. Mom, what's she talking about? His eyes darted between us, the lottery ticket now crumpled in his fist. I could see the weight of it settling on him, the sudden realization that his dream was becoming a battlefield. At 22, Ethan was still finding his way. He dropped out of college, worked odd jobs, and now, this ticket was his shot at something bigger. A house, a business, a life. And here was Lila, demanding I rip it away. I turned to her, my heart pounding. Lila, I love you. I love Sophie. But this is Ethan's money. He won it. I can't just take it from him. Her face hardened, and she stood, pacing like a caged animal. You think love pays medical bills? You think love keeps my daughter alive? Her voice cracked, and for a moment, I saw the Lila. I knew the one who'd cried in my arms when Sophie's diagnosis came. But then she turned, her eyes blazing. If you don't make this right, we're done. You, me, our friendship over. The room went quiet, the kind of quiet that feels like the world holding its breath. Ethan looked at me, his face a mix of fear and defiance. Mom, I want to help Sophie. I do. But all of it, I don't even know what to do with this money yet. His voice was small, like he was a kid again, asking me to fix something he couldn't understand. I felt like I was being torn in two. Lila was right, I owed her. She'd been my rock, my family when I had none. But Ethan was my son, my everything. How do you weigh one life against another? Sophie, only 10, needed experimental treatments that cost more than most people earn in a lifetime. Ethan, at 22, had his whole future ahead. The money could change both their lives, but only one could claim it. Over the next week, the tension grew unbearable. Lila called daily, her tone shifting from pleading to accusatory. You're choosing greed over loyalty, she'd say, her words cutting deeper each time. Ethan, meanwhile, has started researching Sophie's condition, his laptop filled with tabs about medical trials and costs. Maybe I can give some of it, he said one night, his voice heavy. But Mom, I want to start something too. Is that wrong? I didn't have an answer. Every night, I lay awake, replaying Lila's words, seeing Sophie's small, now fragile face, and Ethan's hopeful one. I tried talking to Lila, offering to help with fundraising, to split the money, anything, but she was unrelenting. It's all or nothing. She said, you owe me everything. The breaking point came at a coffee shop, neutral ground where I hoped we could talk without shouting. Lila sat across from me, her hands trembling around her mug. Marissa, I'm not a monster. I'm a mother. You'd do the same for Ethan. Her eyes were wet, but her jaw was set. I wanted to scream that I was a mother too, that Ethan's dreams mattered, but the words caught in my throat. Instead, I asked, what if we find another way, grants, charities, anything? She shook her head. There's no time. Sophie's getting worse. You know that. She reached across the table, grabbing my hand. Please, make Ethan do this. For me, for her. I pulled away, my heart splintering. I can't force him. Lila, it's his choice. Her face crumpled, and she stood, leaving without another word. That night, she texted me one last time. You've made your choice. Goodbye. Ethan and I sat down the next day, the lottery ticket lying between us like a loaded gun. Mom, he said, his voice steady despite the shadows under his eyes. I've been thinking, I want to give Sophie half, $5 million. It's enough for her treatments, maybe more, but I want to keep the rest. For us, for my future. I stared at him, pride and pain twisting in my chest. He was trying to do right by everyone, even when it hurt. Are you sure? I asked. He nodded, but I saw the flicker of doubt in his eyes. He was giving up half his dream, and I couldn't protect him from that sacrifice. We met Lila at her house, Ethan clutching a check he'd had drawn up. Sophie was there, coloring in the corner, her small frame a reminder of what was at stake. Lila's eyes widened when Ethan handed her the check. $5 million, he said quietly. For Sophie. I hope it helps. Lila's hands shook as she took it, tears streaming down her face. Thank you, she whispered, but she didn't look at me. Sophie ran over, hugging Ethan's legs, and for a moment, the room felt lighter. But when Lila finally met my eyes, there was no warmth. This doesn't fix us, she said. You should have done more. I felt like I'd been punched. Ethan's sacrifice, his heart laid bare, wasn't enough for her. I wanted to scream, to beg her to see reason, but I just took Ethan's hand and left. In the car, he was quiet, staring out the window. Did I do the right thing? Mom, he asked, his voice barely audible. I didn't know. I still don't. The money changed everything. Sophie's treatment started, and her prognosis improved. Ethan used his half to start a small tech company, something he'd dreamed of since he was a kid. But Lila and I haven't spoken since. Our friendship, built on years of trust, crumbled under the weight of that ticket. Sometimes, I wonder if I should have pushed Ethan harder, or fought Lila more, or found some impossible middle ground. Other times, I think Ethan's choice was the only one that could have kept us whole. But the question lingers, heavy as the money itself. What do you owe the people you love? And how do you choose when their needs collide? I'm sharing this because I need to know, where do you stand? Was Ethan right to split the money, or should he have kept it all? Was Lila's demand fair, or was it too much? Drop your thoughts below, because I'm still wrestling with what's right and wrong in this mess. End of one.